Hi there, it's Liam here from Rating the Races. So today I was asked a question in a response to a video from Batnerfall. Thank you for this question. How is it that you come to your ideas where your horses should be aimed? Is it through knowledge of the racing calendar or they've run in the race before? It's a bit of both. I do remember my racing pretty well, but I also remember suitable races, what races might be coming up, and I'm also able to use the BHA website, which everyone can use. It's not just for me. Everyone can use this upcoming fixtures on the BHA website. So let me go through a few of the examples. The first one that you actually asked about was Alligator Alley aimed at the handicap at Goodwood. So how did I come up with that? So I know Alligator Alley is rated 94. So with that in mind, I'm going to look for a race that will suit him. So I've been watching his races and I know he wants 5 furlongs and he's got some form even shorter than that on the all-weather. And I have a look through his form on RTR. So I'm going, okay, he wants 5 furlongs. He's rated 94, so he's going to be class 2. Where has he run well before? Is there a track that he's run well at before? First of all. Okay, so he's finished 3rd at Lingfield. Yeah. All weather, not interested in any of them. Thirsk, for a horse rated 94, there might be a couple of races that suit, but I think there's a better, bigger race for him that would be better. So I keep going down, I keep looking. Wolverhampton, Dundalk, not interested. Nace, don't want to send him to Ireland. York, okay, he's won at York, but he's also disappointed the last twice. 3, 4 times he's been beaten at York consecutively. So I don't really want to go there. I think it's worth giving him a change. So then I have a look at Goodwood. Okay, he's finished 2nd at Goodwood. And I have another quick look up. He hasn't been there since. That's a surprise. So let's look into this race. So he was 2nd in a Group 3. That's already promising because I'm aiming him to find a handicap. So he's finished 2nd in a Group 3 behind Liberty Beach. That looks good for him. I believe Liberty Beach is quite good, but I can use the RTR ratings to have a look. Last time he won in 2021, Liberty Beach was winning. She was winning a Group 2. Okay, so she's a proper group horse, and she won that as a 4-year-old, so it's not like she was just a good 2-year-old. So she beat Alligator Alley. I'm quite happy with that. If there's a race that suits Alligator Alley at Goodwood over 5, then that's where I'd be looking at. So let's go and find that. So first of all, we go to Pro Stats, which is available for professional members, and I'm going to set a few filters. So first of all, we're going to go 5 to 5. So that means it's looking for races between 5 furlongs. Whoops, I've got some filters already selected. Between 5 furlongs and 5 furlongs, because I think he's a 5 furlong horse. I want it to be a handicap. I want it to be on the flat, not the all-weather. I want it to be last year, and I want to have a look for the following 2 months, so June and July. So that's taken me down to 134. There's a few more I can do. Age range, I want to look for 3-year-old and older handicaps and 4-year-old and older handicaps. So I've still got 100. That's quite a lot. What else could I look at removing? Class. Okay. He's rated 94, so he's going to be in class 2 races. So let's click that. We've only got 8. We've only got 8 possibilities. Let's go to course. Hopefully Goodwood's there. It is. Look at that. There is a race at Goodwood for him. How do I find which one that is? Click on this number here, which is the record, and then click on the dot to show the actual race itself. So let's have a look. I am taken to a handicap at Goodwood for horses rated 0 to 105, over 5 furlongs, 4-year-old and older. That's fine. So this race, if it is still around, because that does happen, you find a race and then actually it's been taken out of the program. If this race is still around, this would be a good race for Alligator Alley. So let's have a look. Let's go to upcoming fixtures, which is on the BHA website. Go to upcoming fixtures, and then I'm going to look for Goodwood, and I'm going to set it for next 2 months. So I know by looking back here, actually I can use this page, the 26th of July this date was. of this race. So I'm looking for a date around the 26th of July. Well, that's June, so that's not it. 1st of August, maybe this is it. So I'll load up a couple of the race days around that date. And I come up with this one. Okay, this is the first, and I found it straight away. 5 furlongs, 0 to 105, 86 to 105, 4-year-old plus. It's the Nicholson June Handicap Stakes, which if we just go back to that race, that is what it's called. So this is the race in question. So I've done my analysis first of where I think he should go, and then I look to see if there's a race that suits him. In this instance, there is. So that's why I came up with that race for Alligator Valley. So then we do the same again. Let's go on to Roscollon. Now, we can see that he's run quite a few poor races, but that does generally mean he'll be dropping in the handicap. So we want to have a look at where he's been and where he's performed well. So I can see he's finished 3rd at Goodwood. That's a good track. And 3rd at Ascot. And interestingly, 3rd at Ascot was on Thursday the 16th of June 2022. So around this time last year. So that would be very interesting for me. So I have a look. This was the race at Goodwood. It was worth 38 grand. But I know this is towards the end of August. That's a bit long to wait. So I then have a look at that Ascot race and I see, this is 7 furlongs for 3-year-old and older horses. It's at Ascot, it's worth 51 grand, and I can see he finished second. He finished 3rd, and I know that this is Royal Ascot, so I'm very interested here. So then I have a look, go back to the BHA website just to make sure that race is still available. Sometimes they get rid of them, even at the feature meetings, and it's very frustrating. There's an apprentice handicapper, Chester, that caught my eye for a horse. 51 grand for it last year to win that Chester handicap at the apprentice handicap. Nothing like that this year. It's about 8 grand, I think, to win it. So that isn't a race I was particularly interested in. So let's have a look, see if we can find that Buckingham Palace Stakes race. It's not on day 1. It's not on day 2. There it is on day 3. This race at the bottom. All the qualification and criteria is the same. It's a 7 furlong, 0 to 105, 3-year-old and older. So this is where he should go. He was rated 103 last year. He's now only rated, what did we put, 93? Just reading my tweets. Yep, down 2 to 93. Very interesting if he gets in. So that's just a quick idea of how I come up with some of the races. Are we looking at their previous efforts, where they've been, then using ProStats to find me similar races that will suit them, and trying to work and hopefully get a match between them. Obviously, I've had to watch the races as well, because if I didn't think they were interesting, you know, if a horse finished last and dropped £5, I might not be interested in him if he's just rubbish. But if there was a reason why, you know, I think, a little bit of cut in the ground, or back to a track that he likes, he travelled so well during the race, or something similar like that, that's what then sticks in my mind. I make notes throughout the week of horses I'm interested in. I then look to see what their marks have done. Sometimes, you know, I'm even happy sometimes if they've gone up in the handicap. If they were at a track that didn't suit them, for example, and yet they still won, or they were on the wrong side of the track and they finished second, went up a pound, they could still be interesting when they go on the right side of the track. So you do have to watch a lot of the races. You know, I try and watch all of the races, even the Class 6 running round, you know, Wolverhampton on a Wednesday evening, because sometimes you can find something that's clearly better than what they've demonstrated at that time. So that's kind of how I come up with my analysis, horses that I'm interested in, and my handicap mark horses. I hope that helps. I hope that gives you an insight into my brain and how I go about my thought process.